Welcome to video lesson number 25. This lesson is on changes to measures of central tendency. For this lesson, you will need the TOC you were given in class, number 25, a pen or pencil to take notes, a highlighter, colored pencil, or marker to highlight keywords and important information, and this is still part of the calculator unit. So let's get started. So there are three types of changes that can be made to data sets that can change the measures of central tendency. And the three types of variations that can be made to a data set include additions, so adding a number to a data set, deletions, meaning taking a number away from a data set, and changing a number that's within a data set. For example, if you have a bunch of grades and you retake a test and then that you do better on a test, that means your grade changes from a lower score to a higher score. So again, the three variations that can change: you can add a score to a data set or add a number to a data set. You can delete a number from a data set, or you can change a number within a data set, and those will affect the mean, median, or mode of that data set. And that data set, depending on how the data has changed, will either increase, or it will decrease, but on some rare occasions, some problems, the mean, median, or mode may not change at all. So most of the time it will increase or decrease, but on some rare occasions it may not change at all. So make sure you write that on your paper, that on some problems the mean, median, or mode may not change. All right, so let's get started looking at our first example. And with all of these problems, like with any wordy problem, read the problem carefully. So let's read the whole problem first. The teacher gave a math test to 4 students. Their scores were 75, 87, 92, and 81, with a mean of 83.75 and a median of 84. What would be the median and mean if a 5th student took the test and scored a 90% on the test? So what they're asking me to do is find the new median and mean if a 5th student took the test. I had 4 students, now I'm going to have 5, and they want to know what would happen if I added a 90 in there. So that is going to be an additional score. It's an addition to what I already had. So the mean teacher is going to tell you to put all your numbers in ascending order, or least to greatest order, first. So let's do that. Bam, done. Write that down. 75, 81, 87, 90, 92. Do I have to do that for mean? No, but I need to do that for median, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It doesn't hurt to do that for the mean. Okay, they've given me the old mean and they've given me the old median. Will they always do that? No. Sometimes you're going to have to find the old mean and median first and then find the new mean and median. That's okay. So now that I have that information, let's find the new mean. Add up all your scores, 75 plus 81 plus 87 plus 90 plus 92 gives me a total of 425. I now have 5 scores, so I'm going to divide that by 5. I get a new mean of 85. They're not just going to be looking sometimes for that 85. They want to know how much did it increase by. So you might want to say it increased from 83.75 to 85, or they may say it increased by 1.25. Okay, so you want to make sure you answer the full question or look for what they're asking. Okay, For median, it was at 84. So now let's cross out till we find the middle. My old median was 84. And so now it increased from 84 to 87. So it increased by 3. So there was a much bigger jump for the median than for the mean. So sometimes they might ask you a question that said which had a bigger increase, the mean or the median. The median had a bigger increase. It's important to note that adding a number does not always increase the measure of center. Sometimes if I add a number and it's lower, it may lower the measures of center. So be careful. Just adding a number does not always increase the measure of center. So it's important to note that. Okay, example number 2. There were 6 students on a team. Remember, we're going to read carefully. There were 6 students on a team with the following ages: 12, 15, 11, 10, 12, and 12. If the oldest student was disqualified and not allowed to play, describe how the mean would change as a result of his age being removed from the data set. So again, read the problem carefully. The old teacher says find the mean of the original data set first. Because there were 6 students on the team, there's my data, but the oldest student was disqualified, meaning he's not allowed to play, so his information is removed. And we want to know how's that going to change the mean. So you have to find the original mean first. So it's a deletion. We're going to take his age out. So add up all those ages to find the original mean first. When I add up all those ages, I get a total of 72. Divide that by the 6 people on the team, and I get an age of 12. Now, so my mean originally was 12. But if I take that student out because he was disqualified, I now only have 5 students playing. That 15-year-old is gone. Now, if you think about it, my oldest student was 15, and I take him away. What do you think is going to happen to that mean? Hopefully you said it goes lower. So I add it together. It's 57 divided by 5 because I no longer have 6. And my mean is now 11.4. Notice it didn't drop a whole lot, but it does go down. So my mean drops. Now, my mean dropped because I took my highest score out, but it didn't go down by too much because I divided by a lower score. So, 15 isn't that much of a big drop. Now, will taking one out always make my score drop? No, because what if I took out my lowest score or my lowest age? Then it would not. It would make my score go up. So just because I take something out doesn't make my score or my ages drop. So just know that. You got to think about how it's going to affect things. All right, let's go for our final example. And you can probably guess, because we've done the other 2 types of variations, that this one is going to be the change. So let's read it together. Peter Parker was worried about his math grade. He begged his teacher to allow him to retake his most recent test. He studied and studied for the retake, and his grade did improve. Find his new grade point average, or mean, if his new test grade for his test 3 was an 80 instead of a 55. So the important information here was his grade improved. His new grade point average is what we're finding, and his grade was a 55 and now is going to be an 80. So if you look at the grade book, test 1 was a 75, test 2 was a 78, test 3 was a 55, homework was a 60, and classwork was an 80. So we're going to find the original mean first. So go ahead and add those together. 75, 78, 55, 60, 80, add them all together, and we get 348. And we're dividing those by 5, and he gets an average or a mean of 69.6, meaning he has a 69.6 in the grade book, which is a D. Now, if his grade changes and that 55 becomes an 80, so now we have 75 plus 78 plus 80 plus 60 plus 80. His new total is 373, and we're going to divide that by 5. His new grade becomes a 74.6, which instead of being a D is now. So his grade went up from a D to now he has a C. So it brought it up a little bit, not perfect, but at least he's not in danger of having to go to summer school. Okay, and now it is time for you to show what you know. Log in and take your homework quiz.